All right, welcome back to the Melon Yellow Podcast, or M&Y. We are here today with Dylan Oakley.
No.
Sports!
So
Gonna
loud.
talk about some sports, what's going on in the world, just shoot the shit.
Yeah, Dylan is he's got a curfew because he's a little kid, so we'll see what we get out of this one.
So why don't we introduce Dylan?
Oh, I will.
Why don't you,
Dylan is a pitcher at Manchester United.
Yeah, sure.
Manchester University?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're a starting pitcher, yes?
Reliever.
That's right. We need some relief from your ass. Let's go.
what are you studying at Manchester?
I am studying sports management.
Yeah,
Nice.
baby.
So what do you plan on doing with that?
No clue.
What do you mean, no clue?
So something in sports, obviously.
What would you
but
like to do with that?
What's your
That's
passion
why
in
I'm in
life?
college. I don't know what area.
That's why.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
You're
like
blowing
if you had a
it.
dream job, like with this sports
Well, obviously, a
management.
dream job would be managing the Dallas Cowboys, but
Oh, that's
that's
disgusting.
I know it's
bro.
hard.
You almost got kicked off the cast just now, bro.
Yeah, get out of here.
Sorry,
Why the Cowboys?
Dad grew up watching it.
Your
I grew
dad
up
is the
watching
worst
it.
person.
Your dad's
I
a
know.
Cowboys fan?
Yeah. You knew that.
I mean, I didn't really know he was a Cowboys fan. Why is he a Cowboys fan?
You just ignored it for good reason.
Why is your dad a Cowboys fan?
All of it. He had neighbors on both sides of his houses
Oh, okay.
when he was growing up, so they'd always give him Cowboys gifts for Christmases and birthdays.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he just always grew up, and they were always on Sunday night back in the day.
Man,
Prime
all
time.
the time. That's why I hate
Prime
them.
time, baby.
Well, interestingly enough, today is the first day of the NFL playoffs.
Yes.
And the Colts lost to the Buffalo Bills, and we were talking about the Cowboys and the
Not
Bills.
happy
They had
about it.
Yeah, they had a nice rivalry back in the '90s, and unfortunately, the Cowboys won all of those matchups.
Hey, man. It happens.
It is,
Yep.
yeah. So that's why.
So,
yeah.
why don't we get into the games today?
Yep. So the first game was the Buffalo Bills and the Indianapolis Colts.
Indeed, disappointing
I mean,
as a Colts fan.
I thought it was a pretty good game.
It was.
It was just, I feel like the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter was poorly coached, not going to lie.
Well, I don't know about the last few minutes. I think the Colts just failed to capitalize on some opportunities.
Yeah.
They
They missed that field goal.
Well, and before that, they had that 4th and goal. They missed by inches on the.
Mhm. Yeah, we
on,
missed a little bit of the
connected
game,
on
but
that.
yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so they missed on that, and then the Bills capitalized on that and drove 96 yards, scored a touchdown, went ahead, and then after that, the Colts missed yet another field goal, and then ultimately lost by a field goal. So,
Yep. The refs tried to bail him out, but
Booty
the
cheeks.
Colts do what they do best and choked.
Indeed.
Yep.
But I'm okay with it because Phillip Rivers is the worst. So
You guys are like hating on him. I don't really care for
I
him.
like the guy. I liked him before he came to Indy.
I don't- he seems
I
alright.
always respected his game.
man, just as a Colts fan during the Manning era, Phillip
Nothing
Rivers, the
compares.
Chargers were like the death of the Colts in the playoffs. If
In the early 2000s.
anytime I saw that we were going to have to face the Chargers, I was like, just chalk that up to an L.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember when the last time.
LT.
LT.
I remember the last time Peyton played against him when he was a Colt, and who was the running back at that time?
For which
Joseph
team?
Uh,
Adai,
No,
Darren Sproles
yeah,
for the Chargers.
him,
Yeah.
and then the Gates killed us that
Darren
game.
Sproles is a beast, bro.
And it kicked us out of the playoffs. I don't think
Yeah,
you got
multiple.
or no, it might have been a playoff. No,
I think in the wild card,
Anyway, yeah.
even in the other rounds, they were just death.
Always
to the
had their
Colts.
number.
Yeah,
Yep.
is an interesting playoff.
So do you
rivalry.
who do you think or do we know who the Chiefs will play now?
The Chiefs will play the lowest seed, so they'll be playing.
who won out of the AFC
Is
today?
Baltimore one of the lowest?
Either Baltimore or the Browns, I believe.
Yeah, so those games.
There might
are
be another
tomorrow.
team, but I think it's one of
Yeah.
those two teams if they win.
Out of the Browns or the Ravens, who do you think could beat the Bills?
I would have to say Browns. I just think they're a better all-around team.
They're saying the Browns are going to beat the Steelers.
I could see that 100%. Steelers have not been themselves.
Hey man, my boy Chase Claypool, Notre Dame's on that team.
He's gonna
I
dance
don't
on
know.
him.
He's gonna dance on
Some
with
TikTok.
Juju.
Speaking of Notre Dame, they definitely blew it.
Yeah.
They
I kind
didn't-
of have to agree with Dylan on not letting them into the playoffs for a while.
Yeah.
They've choked every
They-
single
0-7
time.
since
yeah.
I think the
They-
80s or 90s in big bowl games.
Yeah, they did not show
Af-
up to big games,
yeah.
bro.
After that Alabama game, that one championship when it was Alabama Notre Dame, I immediately was like, nah.
Yeah, I watched about half a quarter of that, and
I watched the first half of that at a bar because at the time I didn't have cable, so I was like, man, I can't watch this game.
I was
so
out
went,
in Arizona with Roger and Linda.
I went and watched this, and me and Facebook wife went over there. I got like a pitcher of beer, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. And I was just like, all right, it's time. We're leaving. I'm done with this.
You finished
the
the
game
beer?
was over before you
I don't even
finished your
think.
first ring.
I don't even think so. I don't
You
even think I
finished the whole
finished.
pitcher?
Hell no. I was just like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
I was like,
I don't-
I'm out.
Why do you think they choke like that?
I don't know. I know that they didn't show up in that Clemson game in the ACC championship.
Mm-hmm.
They failed to capitalize early, just like the Colts, and then they just never recovered.
Yeah, that's true.
And and outside of that, yeah.
Well, I was talking with Nick. If you really think about it, there's only 3 elite college teams:
yeah.
Ohio State, Clemson, and Alabama. And I mean, Notre Dame's probably just outside of that, and
Yeah.
that's probably
You
like
could
the
put like Notre Dame with like a Texas A&M,
LSU,
like LSU,
Oklahoma.
but like
those 10
like
teams.
Dylan said, those three
The second
teams,
tier.
You can't beat them because they get everyone.
Yeah. But and so on that note too, we've got the national championship coming up, and it's Ohio State and Alabama. Now it's interesting that Ohio State is in it. Not that they're not a good
I don't
team.
think they.
they're
I don't
very
even
good.
think they should have played in the Big Ten game.
Yeah, I mean, what
Or
they
championship.
play a total 5 games.
They
No,
played
they played
7.
five games.
They played. I think they just had their 8th game, so
Well, before the
Yes.
before
Yeah,
the
the regular
before the
season.
they only had
Respect.
6.
Yeah.
So they changed the rules at the beginning of the season to benefit them in case anything happened to
Yeah.
COVID. They really got the back end of it, and then they had to fix the rules again because, I mean, Ohio State and college football just go together.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens Monday night. We'll see.
I would rather see Alabama win than Ohio State.
I would agree. I don't like either team particularly, but I don't have a problem with Alabama.
I think it's- I think-
textbook. That's how you play football.
I think the reason
Yeah.
why I want to see I would rather see Alabama win is like I have so much respect for them.
Yeah, they
Like,
have a ton of talent, but they
The coaching is
Yeah.
phenomenal. Like
agree.
Yeah.
all of their coaches, like the defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators, always leave like after a championship win. Again, they go to other teams and be head coaches, but then they still he's Nick Saban's still able to get decent, amazing like coaches to come in and be the new defensive and
Yeah.
offensive coordinator. And I just think it's amazing how they're able
Yeah.
just to still always win.
Yeah, with an elite program like that, you can recruit players, but then the coaches definitely, because they're always going to have turnover because those guys are going to
Yeah.
continue to fill in head coach positions.
Yeah, interesting fact. I think Nick Saban against assistant coaches in his career, I think he's like 21-0 or something like that, something crazy. It's just
You ever see him
The
going back to the
program
NFL?
Nah,
No.
he's got it made where he's at, bro.
Yeah.
He's getting paid, and he's good. He'll be there for a while. We saw the Seahawks play today, and Steve Carroll. Is it Steve?
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll, thank you. Ooh.
Steve Carroll, that's Office.
Steve Carell, yeah.
Steve Carroll.
Yeah, but Pete Carroll, like I didn't really think he would leave USC because like he kind of had it made there
He
as
did.
well. But he's had great success in the NFL.
Yeah.
I greatly
He's got a
appreciate.
championship and
Yeah, I greatly appreciate what he's able to do with his players. Like his coaching
Yeah.
style is very interesting because he's a player's coach.
they're the Seahawks ever since he's been there. They're always
In
like
contention. They're always
but
a
like
name
they're
you gotta look out
sneaky
for.
about it.
Yeah.
Like you don't hear about them, but like they're always like second or first in their division. Like it's, I just I like how they're able to just like always be consistent.
Yeah, the Seahawks are interesting too because since of COVID and not having fans, and like the
12th
12th
man.
man is such a big part of their
They
game.
played a factor in today's game.
Absolutely, but I don't know, like pumping in crowd noise for these football games.
I don't get that.
I
I
don't
get
either.
it for like the TV purpose because I mean, if your commentary's not talking, then it's just dead silent.
Yeah, but I kind of like that. Like watching baseball this past year and seeing some of the baseball. I love that it was quiet because
The hit.
you hear the ball coming
ball.
off the bat and it's such a
Yeah.
beautiful noise, beautiful sound. And I think like with the fighting, you hear these punches, and it's a beautiful thing.
Well, then you can also say that like some sports, I mean, like how you're saying, some sports don't even need fans.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, football, you don't. It's all there's so much noise. There's so much pads hitting, and with baseball, you literally only have really one
you got
noise.
The pop of the glove. You got the sound of the ball.
That's
the bat.
it.
Yeah, but
that's all you need.
Especially like when like a free throw. Like that's my favorite sound in a basketball game. Like
the swish.
Well, no, like when it's quiet and like
and
you just hear like just a.
You just hear the ball hitting the floor and then the ball hitting the bottom of the net.
And I do love what the NBA did with the COVID stuff, how they put up these big screens and almost made it like a giant TV across the thing. That was actually pretty cool. So
I liked this summer when they did the bubble. That was really new and
a lot of players didn't like it. But I mean, for people like us, like that would be like a dream come true, being able to play in Disney World and just being able to walk around.
Yeah.
Well, and then you have all the teams in one place.
It's kind of like the Olympic Village.
The G League is gonna go do that.
Speaking about the Olympic Village, dude. I remember when the Olympics were like, I forget which one Olympics it was, but like they, all these comedians were talking about just how much sex goes on in the Olympics.
I can only imagine. Dude. I can only imagine.
Like, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but like they literally have like just buckets of condoms.
Yeah,
like
just laying all around.
Like just everywhere. Because there's like just if you're gonna have sex, just do it safe.
Yeah, I lived in Owensboro, Kentucky, back some time ago, quite a while ago, but Kentucky is a huge basketball state. Like basketball reigns everywhere. It's nuts, bro. Like the Louisville and Kentucky rivalry. I don't know that there's another rivalry like that, but because it's just.
It's not as big for them, but it's
I've never been in
Kentucky,
North Carolina, but in Kentucky, like it's nuts.
Well, you don't have any major sports. It's like the number one major. Like
so, college basketball is a giant thing in basketball in general. But I met this girl. And she was in high school, and she was a basketball player, and she was telling me how she went to a basketball camp at Louisville. It was a girls' basketball camp, and she was like, man, it was nuts. She was like, 96% of all of the girl players there are lesbians, and she was like, it was crazy. It was almost like orgies in these rooms that they would stay in these hotels. And she was like, I was so uncomfortable because they're all just like hooking up with each other and stuff. Like, I was like, that sounds amazing. If I was in high school, I'm going to a girls' basketball camp and just hanging out.
Just like that Fortune we watched last night.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
just
Girl
like
Scouts.
the Girl Scout thing.
The only time I had a room full of women to myself.
Yeah. So how do you feel about COVID affecting sports over the last year?
I mean, it definitely has. It's mostly negative, but there's also, I kind of touched on some of the positives. It's being able to sit back and watch the game, but I think it's hurt, especially from like a sales and like profit standpoint. It's definitely hurt all the leagues around.
Yeah. And from a fan,
I feel like they've probably made more money because of it.
Well, like
besides
MMA
the ticket sales
and UFC, I mean, it's all pay-per-view. You got very little people actually coming to those events. So I mean, stuff like that, you're making more money.
I mean, you're selling those cardboard cutouts for like $500, $300.
That was interesting.
There was the Denver Broncos had the whole cast from every episode of South Park at the cut out cardboard at the games. That was pretty cool.
But back to the NBA, I liked how they had the digital board up there. And
and
they
had
the
fans.
Yeah, and a lot of celebrities and
so
on and so forth. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like the ticket sales aspect. From a fan's perspective, it sucks. Like, I haven't been to a whole lot of games in person, but not being able to go, especially like season ticket holders and stuff, man, that's pretty devastating, bro.
Yeah, I think they just announced, it was either yesterday or 2 days ago, on the 25th or 28th, the Pacers will be having fans back. So later this month. I mean, it's obviously going to be at a certain amount, but it'll be good.
Yeah, a limited capacity.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's just hard, man. Like, because, I mean, especially because I'm a diehard Notre Dame fan, like, I wanted to go to Notre Dame. So I go to a Notre Dame game at least once a year. And this year was the first year I haven't. And
this was one of their better teams. In the
it was hard for me to be like, I can't go to this shit.
I almost was able to go to the Clemson game. I just missed out on tickets.
Well,
that would have been awesome.
They were only letting in, how would you be able to get in?
There was a friend of mine who goes to one of the schools around them, and they have family with season tickets.
Yeah,
Is able to score.
it's not kind of on my bucket list to go.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
because I wanted to
Atmosphere
take
is great
to take
on game
you.
day.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to do that sometime in the next couple of years.
It's awesome, yeah.
I did get to go to a lot of Louisville games back in their old arena. That was always fun. And interestingly enough, I went to several Louisville versus Notre Dame games, and those were interesting games because they always went to like a maximum amount of overtime
every time.
Man, and
I think the last time they played Louisville, no, it's not the last time, but I remember that one
game at
where I went to 4 overtimes.
or 5, I think it was.
That was
something crazy. But yeah, they had an interesting rivalry ultimately. But I did get to go to the Bucket once, the Yum Center. That is a phenomenal,
I went there
phenomenal
last
place.
year.
Bro.
Is it pretty big?
Oh, it's bigger than the Pacers.
It's dope.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it holds more people.
Because Pacers have one of
the
Pacers have like the top is it top 10 biggest?
We were talking about that. I think
I think it was 8th or something like that. We looked that up in the summer.
That's nuts.
Mm-hmm. But the Bucket's cool, man, because like they have these giant concourses. And then they have like a Woodford Reserve lounge, so it's like this big bar area.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then the one thing that I really liked was like normally in a lot of these arenas, like you have to go out into the concourse to go to like the concessions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so they have those out there, but also in the little causeway that you go out to the stands, they have like little concession stands built in right there, so you don't have to go all the way out. Yeah, so it's pretty dope.
It's pretty convenient. Yeah. It's also a great place for a concert. I see all the time that they have big names there.
Yeah, I know somebody went to a Bieber concert there. I was like, meh.
I also like how when they got their banner taken away for the allegations.
The
boosters.
It's the most shenanigan
I don't
thing.
get that. I mean, I get that, but like
they
don't.
earned it. But I like how the boosters they put right across from the stadium. They put a giant replica of it. And like you can't do anything about it. You can't take this one down.
Yeah. Well, since we're on that subject, I have basically turned my back on sports over the last 4 years, because it all started with the Cubs. Well, it started with the Cubs. Like, so my first son was born, and my mom was living with me at the time, and we had just recently reconnected, and we watched a ton of Cubs games together, and it was awesome. And then the Cubs won the World Series that year. So I'm like, man, my son brought us a World Series. And then I was like, man, now it kind of sucks because now I expect them to win.
Yeah.
And so it was fun being a Cubs fan because you have no expectations of them. It just
that's when they had Chapman, right?
Yes, Chapman. That's when he blew their game, and
then
they had lightning or rain delay or something like that, and they came back out. He gave up the 2-run home run that Rajai Davis tied in the 9th inning.
Yeah,
with 1 or 2 outs. That was
an awesome
nuts.
game.
That was crazy.
It was very exciting, but so that was the start. So I watched a ton of baseball. The Cubs won the World Series. Then all of the Louisville sanctions happened, and the Colts already kind of sucked. And I was just like, man, I've got a son now. I was like, something's got to go. I don't have time for all this stuff to sit and watch all these baseball games and so on and so forth. And with the Louisville sanctions, it really pissed me off because, like we said, taking down the banner, and that's such a dumb thing. We all still saw them win. It's not like you take the banner and you give
those
it.
Players. They didn't do anything wrong in that aspect.
Well, that was part of the issue because they got caught. That's what pissed me off, because a big part of the allegations were illegal recruiting, paying these players to come to Louisville.
That's a big issue now.
Yeah. So, but what it was though is Adidas was caught in this FBI investigation paying the player, right? But so Louisville loses their national championship, they lose recruits, Patino is fired, and yet they still have Adidas contract. Like there's no repercussions for Adidas. And like, so that kind of pissed me off, and Patino was out. It was going to be kind of a rebuild for Louisville. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, the Colts sucked, and then Pat McAfee retired, and I was like, that's it, final straw. The weapon is gone. So
when Pat McAfee retired, I was honestly just like, this sucks.
Yeah, that's
that's
it.
I'm glad he did it because
his podcast.
Well, that like he's pumped, like he was pumping out content, and it was all like, it's still phenomenal. Like, I'm glad I'm able to see him more than just on the field or like occasionally on social media. Like now I can watch his podcast.
Yeah, he's fucking hilarious. I love Pat McAfee.
Oh my god, dude, he's.
And I don't even watch it, to be honest. But
I watched
that
clips,
was
but
that was the final straw for me. I was just like, I'm done with sports altogether, and I just left all of it behind. I was just like, so over the last 4 years, I haven't really been in touch, and I've probably watched. I've watched like some Super Bowls and national championships, NBA playoffs, and stuff like that. But regular season stuff, I cut it all out. But it's kind of weird now because when you've detached like that, I don't know half of these players. And I'm just like, it's kind of hard to kind of get into a groove, like watching some of these games and stuff now. I've probably watched more sports over the last 6 months than I have over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting ride for me in regards to sports.
I'm glad I'm able to get you kind of back in it, and I'm glad Dylan's been hanging out, so we've been able to watch it more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else is going on right now? Tonight also we got a rookie basketball player, Melo Ball.
LaMelo Ball.
Oh, is he playing tonight?
He had a triple double.
He actually did tonight.
Yeah, he was one assist off last night, but he was able to get triple double tonight.
What were his numbers?
I couldn't tell you. I think it was like pretty close to like 10, 10, 10, kind of like last night.
Okay,
Like it wasn't anything like exponential in any certain area.
He is. I started following them in high school when they were all three in high school, all of the brothers, and I immediately knew that they were legit.
Yeah,
like,
it was dumb just watching him shoot half court.
Well, and I
also
knew that LaMelo he is the best out of the three.
Yeah, no question.
He is my favorite player to watch. He is my favorite player right now. But like, if you actually watch him, like if you watch the old clips of him when he was back in, was it New Zealand?
He's been in a couple places.
Well, what did he play last year? Wasn't it New Zealand?
New Zealand, Australia, something like that. It was somewhere
so when he was at New Zealand last year, I was watching his clips. If you watch those, he is just perfect. Like, not perfect, but like the stuff he does right, it is like perfect.
Yeah.
And like he kind of reminds me of like a Magic Johnson almost to an extent. And I don't know, man. I give him a couple years and he's gonna be
fucking shit up.
Even though Magic Johnson retired before you were even born.
Top 5. You might need to slow your roll.
Top 5. I don't know, man.
No.
Give him a couple years.
No way.
Give him a couple years.
No way. No
I believe in you, LaMelo.
I believe in him too, but top 5 in just a couple of years.
Yeah.
Well,
Luka came in and he's top 5 and he's literally been in here for what, 3 years?
Yeah.
Luka's nice.
Luka is dangerous.
Luka's consistent though on making the shots.
True.
And he also takes a lot more shots per game.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And he's on a team that
is he doing good this year?
Yeah, I mean he hasn't had as good of a start as he probably hoped to, but he's still getting his numbers up.
I hate you.
Yeah, man. I don't know what else is going on in the sports world that's interesting.
This week, Nick and I, with a friend, I think it was on Tuesday, the Heisman. The first time in 30 years a wide receiver has won the Heisman.
No shit, who won?
Devontae Smith, number 6 for Alabama.
Nice.
That dude is
put up 1,000 yards. I think over around 20 touchdowns, over 100 catches. First time since not Tim Brown,
Desmond Howard.
Desmond Howard, I think, in
81.
No, 91.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, I didn't know. Like I said, I don't even pay attention.
See, it was Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback for Clemson.
Quarterback for Alabama.
Alabama, Mac Jones, and then Florida, Kyle Trask. Which, if you look at it, Trevor Lawrence missed games and had the worst stats probably out of everyone, but he still finished second.
He finished second.
He finished second in voting.
Yeah, he's tough.
He reminds me of Peyton Manning.
He's way more athletic, like way more mobile.
He's mobile. Yeah,
he gives off Peyton Manning vibes.
Yeah, he's tough.
I think it's the stature and just like the body.
Well, his icon is like Peyton Manning. Tennessee's not a good football team. He even went on a visit there. You can see him. I think he was going to be actually number 16 like Peyton was in college. But of course, he ended up going to Clemson.
You know who I watched in the fall? Archie Manning's no. Cooper Manning's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peyton was out there.
That kid is going to be dangerous.
That brings me back to what I was going to say too. Like with the Ball family, like how awesome is that for your development when you have multiple siblings that are playing at a high level that you have this competition with?
It's kind of like the
time.
Ball brothers. I mean, of course, the Manning brothers are a lot more.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, with the Manning brothers, like Cooper was extremely talented.
They said he was the best.
He got injured, and
I think it was a neck injury.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Like I don't think it was. No, he has like some disease.
Yeah, it has something to do.
I remember in elementary school reading a book about him.
Yeah, because they were concerned about that with Peyton when he hurt.
He has like this rare disease or something.
I think it was that. Yeah.
I'm not sure what it was, but how awesome would that be? Your number one target is your big brother, and you're just slinging around, bro.
Well, yeah, that'd be cool.
Killing it.
Well, I thought it was cool last night when we were eating dinner and we saw the first half of the New Orleans Charlotte game and just watching the brothers like tee up each other.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like being able to play against your brother,
like just talking shit, you know. Just
LaMelo hit a step back on his brother.
I'm out here getting triple doubles.
Hey, this ain't the backyard, son. This is real life.
They had to jump ball against each other. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. I have two sons, and I specifically wanted to have them very close in age. So they would always just be close together. But when it comes time like for sports, I can't wait for the competitions that they get into, bro. And sure. I absolutely know they're gonna drive each other. My quarterback in high school, he had a twin brother, so they grew up with like just playing with each other a lot, extremely competitive. Like they would fight all the time. Yeah, it was awesome, but I think that was a big thing. And then the one brother, he didn't play football with us, and but he was, man, just having that support system. Like he was always there, you know, supporting, and it was cool, man. So I hope to create that same type of thing for my sons.
Mm-hmm.
And
what I think's cool about you in high school playing football is you played against Jay Cutler.
Yeah, he single-handedly whooped our ass in sectionals. We were a very small school and a huge underdog, and we went and played them in the second round of sectionals.
Yeah.
And like when I say he single-handedly beat us, like they had this beast of a running back, and in the first quarter we one of our linemen, like he got kind of gang tackled and he sprained his ankle, so he was out for the rest of the game. So we kind of got this kind of edge on him, like so. But then Jay Cutler, I think he threw at least 2 touchdowns. I think he ran for a touchdown. He even returned a punt for a fucking touchdown against us, bro. He was so fucking shifty in high school. It was nuts. He was out in Santa Claus, Indiana, where good old Holiday World is that.
Well,
it used to be.
Is it?
I think they shut it down.
No shit.
When you told me that, I didn't know that Jay Cutler was like so mobile, in high school.
You think of him towards the end of his career, where
he
he's
didn't
in the
shit,
pocket,
yeah.
Especially when he went to Miami. He was like not showing up to practices, and he just looked kind of
He went to Miami.
He was on Miami. I think it was first season.
Yeah, I didn't see him at the end of the.
But it was bad. It was bad. Yeah, but he was good in his prime.
Yeah, he was all right.
Did he retire from the Bears?
I don't think so. No.
Where did he go after there?
Miami.
I thought you meant Miami University.
No, he went to
the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought. Okay, my bad.
He was at a school in Tennessee as well, Vanderbilt.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Vandy, which is interesting. Like, yeah, you don't, you wouldn't think like a big prominent quarterback would come out of a place like Vanderbilt.
Top 3 every year in baseball. That's where all the
like if you go to Vanderbilt, you're in sports. You're mostly baseball. Like
baseball.
If you're.
Or Sarah Fuller.
We're not gonna mention that.
I don't know what that means. So
yeah, it's the first girl kicker to do a kickoff and extra point.
A lot of people make jokes about it.
Yeah. No, interestingly enough, my freshman year in high school, going into like football workouts and all that stuff, there was a girl that was on the team, and she was a kicker, she ended up like quitting. But I think there was so much like kind of harassment, like, you know, it every time she would bend over for like to run a 40-yard dash or something, there's always guys. It's silly. It's just dumb kids.
Boys.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's interesting to see. I know there was a young girl like in middle school or something like that. She was out there beasting some boys.
Dude, the kid we went to school with, he might know, but like when we were little in like the rec league, I was on his team. This guy we went to school with, and his sister would come to football practices, and like
Oh, I know. who you're
fuck
talking
shit
about.
up.
I think I know. Who you're
Yeah,
talking
she
about.
would fuck shit up on us, and we're just like, all right, you're
Gymnast.
scaring the fuck out of me.
Yeah, you're all
Yeah.
Yep,
you're
I
all
know.
about some gymnasts, bro. You
What?
No,
Yeah,
but
it's
this chick is yoked.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, ever since she was like,
Their whole
my-
family is nuts. It's insane.
Yeah, I know. Like, it was interesting. Like, I ran track in high school. First of all, I hated it. I hated running. I ended up running track just to stay in shape for football. But actually, I was pretty good at it. But like running with these girls, some of them are just like crazy athletes, bro. It's insane. I'm like, man, I ain't running with y'all. Y'all making me look bad, bro.
Well, a couple of months ago, there's this multi-billionaire who I think it was Serena Williams and LeBron James. He offered them $1 billion. I'm pretty sure it was $1 billion to conceive a child.
Are you
Can you,
serious?
can you
Oh
imagine
my
an
God.
athlete, Serena Williams and LeBron James?
I mean, but like, you gotta think.
Good old
What
selective
if
breeding.
what if that kid's not like an athlete
Oh.
though? Okay.
Well, if the dude's paying him $1 billion, you don't think he's gonna make him be an athlete? He's gonna give him all the money to get the training. He's not gonna give him a choice.
Well, I mean,
Well, maybe. Well, I don't know. I will say it's interesting, like, in regards to sports, like myself growing up, like, I was very poor. We didn't have a lot of money for stuff, so I didn't get to play, like, on traveling teams and all-star teams and stuff like that because it was just too expensive. And but I really wish that I could have had more opportunities, like with camps and
Yes.
more training and stuff like that. Like,
me as well.
and I hated that, like getting to see all these kids, like even just going to the batting cages, like for myself, not even just that, not being able to go, like, with my mom taking me to the batting cage or something like that, just to get that kind of practice in. So I definitely look forward to being able to provide more opportunities like that for my sons. But,
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like, I'm thankful that I moved to Westfield because there's batting cages like everywhere.
yeah, but shit, I was trying to find some. I got this dope ass bat over here I still want to hit off of. I still ain't even.
Yeah, I mean, like if you go to Shamrock Springs, they have 4 batting cages.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
then I
it's
was like,
stomping grounds.
I was looking at some of the prices for some batting cages. It was kind of nuts.
Well,
Some
I mean,
of-
if you
some
go
of these
somewhere,
places,
if you go somewhere nice, it's gonna be.
yeah, but some of them, like, it was kind of crazy. It was like
There's
$50
one
an hour or something.
One
or-
about 15 minutes away. That's pretty cheap. You can pay with quarters to get it.
yeah, that's
Oh,
what
the
I
one
need.
off,
I want that old school.
Yeah,
One off 32.
yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna
that's
have a
where I
putt-putt.
always went.
Yeah, let's go check. We need to go do that.
They're closed.
Oh, fuck this
Wait, they
shit.
shut down?
I don't know. I went by this summer and I didn't see them open.
Well, probably due to COVID reasons.
Well, they weren't
'Cause
making
the
a lot.
owners, they're either dead or they're really old.
Yeah, because it was those old people that
Yeah,
were always
They were
inside.
at least 90, at least 6-7 years.
It's got like a putt and all this other
They
shit.
got a little arcade. They got sand or beach volleyball. They got a little bit. They got a driving range. They got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, like, and in regards to my sons, like, I want them to play sports, but I don't want to push them
Yeah.
like too hard, push them on it. So like I haven't done much with them in regards to sports really, and they're only 3 and 4, but I know there's a lot of parents like you see these little kids that do all these like dribbling and doing all this like and shooting
Yeah.
and stuff, and it's crazy. And yeah, and as much as I want to be that dad, like I don't want to be that dad. I want them to kind of have the choice and kind of figure out what they want to
Fall
do.
into it on their own.
Yeah, a little bit, and then I'll be there to kind of definitely support and whatever they need in terms of
That
practice.
that was my exact thing with football. Was I liked football, but like my mom and grandfather like pushed me too hard on it.
Yeah,
Like they wanted me to like play for this travel team and stuff, and I was like, I don't really want to.
yeah.
But
so
they were
you
like,
had these
I paid for
opportunities
it,
that
you're
I didn't.
doing it.
Fuck you, man.
Yeah, but they're like, I put you in it, you're doing it. I'm like, I didn't want to be in it. Like I didn't
Yeah.
want to do this, and it just made me hate it. So then like I never played it again. And now that I graduated high school, I'm like, shit, I wish I would have played in high school.
Yeah,
But
I had a similar experience too. Like, I played baseball. That was the first sport that I
Yeah.
played, and my mom is the
I
one
saw
that got
your,
me.
your
Yeah.
A's jersey in there.
Yeah, my mom got me involved in baseball because she played softball and stuff. My mom was my dad growing up. She's the one that went out in the yard and threw baseball with me and did all this stuff and kind of taught me. Yeah, so I was very appreciative of that. However, baseball kind of just grew. I got tired of it. I kind of got bored and burnt out on it, and I think probably as far as sports, I probably would have been better at baseball than anything else. But football was my passion. Once I really started playing football, like I didn't need any external motivation to want to try to be the best football player that I could be. Unfortunately, I still didn't have a lot of opportunities to go to camps and stuff, but I did go to one camp between my junior and senior year out here at Anderson, and it was the Dick Delahan camp. He was the coach at Ben Davis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That shit was nuts because there was like 100 fucking Ben Davis kids, and we had like, how many of us were there from my school? Like 5 of us. I was like, man, this is crazy. We don't even have.
Did you get any offers to colleges or anything?
No, not really any offers. I wanted to go play, and I probably would have played, and I don't regret not going to a school and playing. It would have been awesome. However, I probably could have. I would have been able to find some kind of D3 school like yourself.
Yeah.
You know, some. Like my buddy, our quarterback, he went and played at Wabash.
Okay.
And
It's like 20 minutes from me.
yeah, it was and that you guys are kind of you guys play each other a lot.
You guys D2?
It's a D3 school.
Yeah.
That's how I knew Manchester in the first place. Because you guys play Anderson as well.
Yeah, it's our rival.
Yeah, I had friends that went and played at Anderson too, and my thing is I got married. I was with my high school sweetheart, if you would, and I ended up staying in Evansville, and UE doesn't have a football team anymore, and I thought it was funny once I started going there because I remembered like when I first moved to Evansville that year in 8th grade, they had announced that UE was canceling their football program, and I remember like seeing this on TV, and I was like, who gives a shit about Evansville, like football? Why do they even have a football team? And then I'm there and I'm like, damn, I wish they really still had a football team, bro.
Yeah.
It was nuts. Did you play any other sports in high school?
I played flag football and soccer for 2 years. Yeah, flag football. And then I played basketball up until right before middle school, and I just kind of didn't like playing. I mean, I still like playing it, but
Play some student impact, baby.
Yeah, I played 1 year of that.
Rec League champion.
I played 1 year of that.
Hey
in
man,
high school.
kids at our school made that like a
Yeah, it was a big deal.
thing.
It was a big deal, you know, when I was at UE too, but I for whatever reason, I just never joined. But a few years ago, like a buddy of mine was playing flag football around here, and he was like, man, it's so fun. Like, it's so dope. He's like, I miss it so much. And he was like, you should play. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to get... I'll go out there and get injured. Like, I'll end up being Tom Segura if I try to play any sports now. I'm the most injury-prone person.
No, man. I'm going to sign us up. We're getting to a men's football league.
I don't even know if I could even survive.
No,
like
we're doing it.
Softball
We're
league.
doing it. All right, well, how about softball then?
What did I just say?
I understand that, but would you do softball rather than football?
I don't know. I honestly,
A lot less
I
money
suck.
than
I'm not gonna
Dude,
lie. I suck at
I have
softball.
like a 55-year-old cousin that plays
I
softball
don't
up in
care.
Kokomo.
I am remedial at softball. I don't know what it is about the arch of a softball coming down. But I can't figure that shit out. It fucks
Tell him
me
just
up.
to give you a line drive then.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Just sling it in, man.
Give him the heater.
And the weirdest thing that I experienced, because I played 1 year, it was a co-ed league, so we had to like bat left-handed and stuff.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, like the softball, like I can't throw the fucking thing. I just end up throwing it straight into the damn ground. Like I try to throw it like a baseball. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
You palming it? The whole
Something,
thing?
yeah. I just like.
There's a kid.
Hulk it right
There's a
at the
kid on
ground
my
from-
travel baseball team when I played travel baseball, who would pitch. I think you know him. I'm not gonna say his name, but he would pitch palm, and it would all just drop, like immediately at the plate, and like he would strike out so many people, and I'm like, dude, I don't know how you do it. Like I throw palm, and it's just like,
It
like it doesn't even.
like, I don't even know where. It goes a different place every time.
It's nuts.
Yeah, I
It's
thought
like 15 feet.
I found it interesting that you were a pitcher too. I wouldn't have.
Yeah, Nick and I were on
pegged
the
you for a pitcher.
same
I had a
5th and 6th grade team, I think.
I had a pretty good forkball. I will say that.
Nick was a
fork
pretty
ball.
good first baseman and pitcher. We brought the heat back then.
Brought the heat.
Brought the heat, and then I was too slow. I didn't make any team.
How are you too slow for baseball?
Dude, I got thrown out from right field. I got thrown out to first base.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yep.
Golly.
It sucked.
Yeah, speed was one of
I'm
my
not
assets.
fast, dude. I'm not fast.
Speed was one of my assets in baseball.
I'm more of a long distance stamina runner.
I feel like now you did not look like a stamina
No,
runner.
I haven't ran since. When was the last time I did the mile? 8th grade? No, 6th grade. 6th grade.
I can't even fathom what my mile time would be right now. I'd
I
probably
did a
pass
mile a
out.
couple months ago. It was like in 30 degrees, and I was like, my legs are cramping up halfway through the first lap, and it was just the worst. It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's better to run in cold weather.
No, because then you got your ears feel, you know that feeling.
Well,
when
it's better for
cold
your
out,
body
and
to
then
run in colder weather.
Your lungs
potentially.
feel so
I
cold.
don't know. You feel that lactic acid kick in
Yeah.
real quick though. They burn, man. I had a lot of track meets in like.
I read
cold, rainy
I read
weather and
somewhere.
shit.
I'm going off topic, but not really. I read somewhere that like the people with ADHD and dyslexia, they have too much lactic acid in their brain that gets made from some process.
Interesting.
And the thing to do that they like people or doctor scientists said that
Doctor scientist.
they said to like for that you need to like run and like lift heavy things and like it's like to help
burn it off.
Yeah.
You keep pointing at the right brain. I feel like it probably is.
Whatever,
Right
the
brain.
brain in general.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah,
Living
that's
rent-free.
that's interesting. There's a lot of reading through. I'm a proud dyslexic, so as I researched a
I think
bunch
you've
of this
said that
stuff,
every podcast.
and I'm going to continue to say it ad nauseum.
I think
You're
we
going to
should
get
just
tired of
bleep-
hearing
just
about
blur that
dyslexia.
out.
Hey man, don't be blocking my camera with your dumbass elbows,
My
your
bad.
stupid Iowa hoodie. But yeah, it was interesting because they talk about like a lot of dyslexics will excel at athletics and stuff. And yeah,
Do you think it's because of like the amount of energy, like the amount of
the hyperactivity
Yeah.
aspect? Yeah, potentially. I think there's a lot of different things I won't get into.
and
but
you're
I
able
think
to like it's probably just also like there's a lot of things going on, so you're able to like
yeah,
kind of like get into that zone or something.
yeah, and I think it's
I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was cool that it was like lactic acid in your brain
Yeah.
and like to lift and like
yeah, that's
actually work out.
I'll have to look into that. I've never heard that before.
I could be totally wrong.
Probably.
We don't have a fact checker. So.
Yeah. Yeah, we need
Facebook wife, we need you.
I know. Where you at, man? We need somebody
She's
over
probably
here.
asleep being responsible.
Oh, absolutely. She's asleep because we're we got started really late tonight. We were trying to watch these games and so we'll
Yeah, the final score to the Buccaneers and football team score was 31.
football team.
Yeah,
That's what it is. The
I
Washington
fucking hate
football
it still.
team.
31-23. They almost pulled off a comeback. They were marching down the field.
Who
and then,
won? The Buccaneers?
Yeah, Buccaneers. They were marching down the field,
Tom Brady.
and then it was 4th and 21 last time I checked, and then they didn't get it. So
Blew it, man.
Dude,
first day of games is in the books.
Once I saw that Gronk retired, I knew something was going on. Because, like, as soon as he retired, I was like, dude, there's no way he's
Yeah.
going to not come back. And then, 2 years after that, it's Tom Brady's leaving, and I was like, just wait. And then
No, it wasn't even 2 years. Gronk was retired for was it 2 seasons?
I think it was 2 yeah. But, like, and then Tom Brady left, and I was like, wait, just wait for it. And then he went to the Buccaneers, and I was like, wait. And it's like, oh, Gronkowski's coming out of retirement. And I was like, fucking knew it.
Gronk. Yeah, he almost had a touchdown tonight.
Yep.
What do you mean? I thought he did.
No.
No, he got
Antonio Brown
pushed
did.
out.
Oh, okay.
He scored in, I think, his last 5 or 6 games, a touchdown apiece in each
What do you
game.
think of Antonio Brown?
I think he's
He's
a
a beast.
cancer. He's a cancer for his team.
Personality wise, yeah, probably. But
He's a
yeah,
great player.
He's a dope ass athlete, bro. Phenomenal hands. His speed is ridiculous. Yeah, and then seeing him tonight too, like it's crazy. He did like they ran a little reverse with him, and I was just like, damn, he's cutting, bro. Yeah, he's still.
He went to
still nice.
LSU, right?
No, it was one of the Michigan schools.
Are you serious?
I think.
Michigan State.
Sure,
maybe.
yeah.
Antonio Brown.
Oh, I'm
College.
thinking of Odell Beckham that went to LSU.
Yeah.
Because he
Central-
played.
Central Michigan.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
think I knew that. I think I knew that. I don't know why I asked that. Yeah, Odell's out. That's great.
Yeah. Who's some other players that have come from like some obscure schools and had like, great success?
Darius Leonard,
Who's that?
the Colts middle linebacker.
Yeah, see, I'm not even familiar with him.
The dude tears it up. I think it's from South Carolina State or something. I don't even think they're D1.
Who's the quarterback that came from like a D2 school? That's like a
I
starter.
know it's not D2 school, but not Philip Rivers. Ben Roethlisberger went to, I think it was Miami, Ohio. And then Tony Romo went to Eastern Illinois. So there's some small schools.
There's somebody I'm thinking about.
Brett Favre came from some
there's somebody I'm thinking about, and I can't remember where he went. Anyway, but
then I think of players like Kawhi Leonard. Like, where did he go?
San Diego State.
Yeah, it's kind of
like Paul George.
Yeah, Paul George is another one. Just kind of
Fresno
these
State,
schools that you don't.
Paul George is
you wouldn't think of. It's like, how does
they're good teams, but they don't play it.
Yeah, how does a player like that come out of a school and like they weren't like phenomenal or something? Like, you hear about them a lot.
Well, I mean, they were all like first team like every year that they were in college.
Yeah.
But I mean, they just don't get the recognition as the Power 5 schools.
And then he comes in and he's been a beast.
Like, but I think that's also a good thing, is because you like these kids that are in college now that are like not at a big name school. It's like, still play your fucking heart out. They're gonna watch you. Like, now that we have social media, YouTube, it's put out everywhere. Like, even ESPN, they'll put up like a D3 school if somebody does something cool. Like,
well, I find it interesting because when you're in these kind of smaller schools that don't get as much publicity or whatever.
I mean, just like John Morant, he played on Murray State and he went second.
Well, then
I think he's better than Zion in my opinion.
Dude, no doubt.
I think he should have gone.
There was who was the point guard for the Pacers that went to IUPUI?
Oh, George Hill.
Yeah, George Hill. He was nice.
Traded for George Hill, and they sent
Is he still
Leonard
playing?
in return.
No shit.
Is he on the Bucks?
No, he's on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah, he's starting. I mean, they're tanking for Cade Cunningham.
After he left the Pacers, he just went downhill.
Yeah,
he was good on the Spurs before he came over, but he's no Kawhi Leonard.
He was on the Spurs before the Pacers.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. But I think like playing at these smaller schools, like it's interesting when they come up and get into the big leagues, if you would. I think they just have a kind of a different work ethic. Like when you see a lot of these kids who go to these big programs, like they're so used to winning and you're surrounded by a bunch of talent, and then you get into the league and it's
you're
like
a high pick, so you're getting on the crappier teams.
Yeah, and it becomes and that's why it's nice to see a lot of these players come out of obscurity, like a Tom Brady, who didn't have a lot of scouts on him, So. Yeah, it's interesting. It's nice.
You got a couple of guys who defy the odds, like the duo in Portland. You got Damian Lillard. I think he's a 6th or 7th pick. He came out of Weber State. And then shooting gunner on that team, C.J. McCollum. He was on that Lehigh team that beat Duke.
Lehigh.
In March Madness.
Shouts out to Lehigh. Anybody
who takes
down
Sister Jean?
Yeah, anybody who takes down Duke, I'm pro that
Loyola, Chicago.
Lehigh.
This was back.
Lehigh, aren't they both still out of Illinois? Isn't Lehigh Illinois?
I think Lehigh's East Coast. I don't know for sure. Lehigh University.
Dylan's our own fact checker.
Going back to
it's closed right now.
Keep it tight, man.
Going back to NFL.
Pennsylvania.
I was thinking about this recently, just for some reason, but like I think. One of my favorite quarterbacks has to be Sam Bradford.
Why? Like in college or
Dude,
like in the NFL?
NFL.
What did he do?
He played for like half a season.
He played for like half the teams in the league.
I don't know, man.
He was washed.
I've watched him just like the little clips on YouTube of him playing, and I'm just like,
he's nothing special.
I had no faith in him coming out of college. No. Like I just didn't foresee him.
Well,
yeah, absolutely.
He got such a good rep.
Any opportunity I have to hate on you,
he played with Adrian Peterson. That's what made the team so good. So it kind of disguised.
But dude, he has a cannon.
Yeah,
he definitely.
He's mobile-ish.
He was.
I mean, now he's
what even happened to when did he?
Prone.
Yeah, their offensive line. Sucks,
I mean, when was the last time he played?
I think a couple of seasons, like 3, 4, 5.
He played this year.
Did he?
Did he not?
No, I think the Eagles might have been his last team. I think he might have been in that Super Bowl.
Sam Bradford? I'm talking about the wrong. I am talking about the wrong person.
Damn it!
Wasted.
Shit!
All this time, man. Who are you thinking of?
Matthew Stafford.
Matthews.
See, I don't even like.
Oh,
I
was talking about the wrong
I
person.
love
I don't
Matthew
believe
Stafford.
in Matthew Stafford that much, to be honest.
All right,
He's
anyways.
never had, other than Megatron. He's
Yeah,
never had a
I'm
good
sad that
line,
Megatron
never
The guy
had
who
a
the
solid
guy I was
running
talking
back.
about before, he played on the Rams, right?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
He
no,
played on,
wrong
like,
person,
5
wrong
teams.
person, wrong person.
Matthew
you
Stafford.
blew it.
That's
did
the
blow
dude
it.
that the Colts should go after this offseason, I think.
Who?
Matthew Stafford.
That's what I
See, I don't want.
Give him
Matthew
a team
Stafford.
with
No,
a great offensive
Matthews-
line and some weapons. Good
Go
running back.
take away what I just said about the last guy.
Sam Bradford.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, get him out of here.
Nobody's even said his name in the last
That's- yeah,
6
no.
years. I don't think.
Yeah.
Matthew that's who. That's what I'm talking about.
So slept on.
He
Always
is.
up there
That's
with the
that's
passing
what I'm saying.
numbers.
Yeah, I mean,
Always getting hurt because his offensive
he's
line is his
a
dog.
gunslinger. But see, all right. So on that note, like that's what frustrated me about the Colts. Like, so Luck was still there, and I was just like, man, they're not building a line for him because like he's going to continue to get hurt and get smashed because like his first couple years, like he led the league in getting sacked. Like,
Offensive tackles are some
Dude,
of the
he had a
highest paid
lacerated
in the league now, 'cause
lacerated kidney.
yeah, and see now,
How the fuck do you get a lacerated kidney?
man, because he got boomed.
That's
bro.
what I'm
That
saying
shit
though.
was
Like,
nuts.
how do you as a team allow your quarterback to get a
You can
lacerated
only say
kidney?
good hits
Well,
so many times.
No, but that wasn't even because he was getting hit in the pocket. Like that's because he was out running and he got smashed.
But he
Because
had to.
well, I won't deny that he had to some degree. But there's tons of mobile quarterbacks that make things happen and extend plays because they're out there running. And Luck was definitely one of those. His thing is he's a big ass dude, so he's out there trying to boom people.
Yeah.
And
But he did though.
he did boom a lot of people. But my thing to that is like, man, it was fascinating to me watching, as a Colts fan, watching Luck. And I did actually believe that Luck was going to make a good NFL quarterback, as most people
After
did.
that
I'm
Chiefs
not
game,
I'm
in
not
the playoffs,
surprised.
that comeback.
I'm not surprised that he
That was
retired
weird.
early at all. But what I was getting to is watching him run, you would hear these commentators, and they'd be like, oh, man, he's just willing his team to win by, like running and taking these hits and all this stuff. And then on the flip side of that, you got a Cam Newton. And when he takes off running, the commentators are like, he's hurting his team because he's out there, putting himself, out there like the. I'm like, how is it so different when we're talking about an Andrew Luck and he's willing his team to lose or win? And then when it's Cam Newton doing the same thing, because they're very similar, bodied quarterbacks. And
Yeah, both big guys.
yeah, so you have this kind of racial bias that's happening. And it's, I don't know, I thought it was very interesting.
I mean, there's
Any
race in
comments?
everything though.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not bringing it up for that, but it was
I'm
very,
not saying you are.
it was very, it was very pointed because, like I said, I loved Andrew Luck. But I was pissed off, and I'll get back to the main subject. I was pissed off that they weren't building a line for him. And now since he's been gone, they've built this very
got,
nice
like,
offensive
one of
line.
the
Yeah, one of the
best.
best offensive lines. And now we have Phillip Rivers.
Speaking of the Colts and Notre Dame, Quentin Nelson, only other player besides Bob Sanders to be All-Pro first team in his first three years in the league.
Really
Pretty impressive.
interesting.
Quentin Nelson.
I miss
is
Bob Sanders.
Oh, did I say
I
Bob?
miss
Did I
Bob
say Bob Sanders?
You did say Bob Sanders. but I
Barry
missed-
Sanders, my bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Quentin Nelson
I miss Barry
is
Sanders
a
as well.
freight train. Get out of his way,
Like, yeah, really, you're lined up. very
dude.
fast.
Oh my god, I love that dude so
he
much.
he pancakes some dudes.
He is
lays the smack
relentless.
down.
He is
He lays the
relentless. He
smack
doesn't.
Since you mentioned Barry Sanders, who's your favorite running back of all time?
Name your favorite past and like in your lifetime.
Who was it? Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
I liked. Yeah,
Man,
Favorite
he's
right now?
I watched him
Oh.
beast the Colts.
like when he was back then.
so bad. I was
Right
so
now,
mad.
if I had to pick right now, it'd be Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
But
Well, Danian Tomlinson and Adrian Peterson were the
But with
top
Leonard-
two back in the day, I
Yeah.
think. Frank Gore.
Jacksonville Leonard
Yeah,
Fournette
Frank
was
Gore's
my
a beast.
favorite.
I loved when Frank Gore came to the Colts too. Like he still had some run in him. One of
Now
my
he's on the fucking
He's
Jets.
trying to go to
Is
a
he still playing?
He's,
He on the
he's trying to go to contender next year. He's trying to play another year.
really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I've been out of it so long I don't know. But I saw it was interesting today. I saw like the NFL montage was going across, and the first player that came across was Christian Okoye. You guys probably don't even know who the fuck he
I don't
is.
know who that is.
Yeah.
Name sounds familiar. What team
He
is played for?
he played for the Chiefs,
Nope.
and as a kid, he was my favorite player because they called him the Nigerian Nightmare.
Was he on defense?
No, he was a running back. We're
Oh,
talking
I
about
didn't-
running backs. Context clues. Pay attention.
I-
Focus.
Fuck off.
Focus.
Fuck us.
But yeah, he was a beast. He was just this huge dude, and like, oh, he used to just boom people, bro. I love that guy, and so I loved seeing him today in that montage, like being that first player coming across. I had to rewind. I was like, was that Christian Okoye? I was like, I love it. I miss that dude. He was phenomenal.
I do like when
running back
when they bring up old stuff on like the like halftime.
Yeah,
but like the pregame.
He's in the montage with Walter Payton and so on and so forth. I'm like, this is crazy. But I don't know who would be my favorite running back of all time.
I love
Barry Sanders.
Peterson.
Hey man, AP was
a boss.
Man, he was so fun. Like just being.
He would just throw people around.
It was amazing.
I think I'm gonna take back my answer. I think if I had to pick my like an older player to be my favorite running back, it might be like Jerome Bettis.
The bus, Notre Dame.
Back in the day, I'd probably, if I had to pick one, I'd probably say Emmitt Smith, just being a Cowboys fan.
I knew you was gonna say some dumbass shit like that.
Hey, he's a top 5 running back.
All right, so let's bring that into play real quick. So we're talking about offensive lines and so on and so forth. The Cowboys had the best offensive line, if not one of the best all-time offensive lines, and Emmitt Smith definitely benefited from that. And then on the flip side, you had Barry Sanders, who often led the league in rushing and so on and so forth, but he had a shitty-ass offensive line. Mm-hmm. But then Emmitt Smith has the Super Bowls and all of this stuff. And there was just all this talk, like, which is the better running back, and I'm always going to lean Barry Sanders, and not because of the Cowboy thing.
No, I think Barry Sanders is better, too.
And that dude... Watching him break watching him break tackles and just get out of these crazy ass things and like running, these long touchdowns with one shoe on and his sock is flopping. That shit's nuts, bro. It really sucked when he retired early, and but I didn't blame him for that either, because like it gets frustrating after a while. Man, give me a line, bro.
Same thing with Megatron. Calvin Johnson, same team.
Oh my gosh!
I know it sucked.
He was. I think he's still a top 3, top 5 wide receiver of all time. Just based off what he did in his time, in a short amount of time. I mean, he was nuts.
Stop touching my chair. I will kick you in the balls.
Yeah, we got new chairs.
We did. It's so nice.
It is.
Dylan's in the grandpa rocker, the papa rocker. It's also glorious. I'm not gonna lie.
Favorite wide receiver?
I think we
know.
Yeah, Jerry Rice.
He's over there.
I know, but the number 80, the Flash 80. Yeah, Jerry Rice is a phenomenal. I don't even want to say
play on the
athlete
49ers.
No, he went to the Raiders. You saw the Raiders helmet up there earlier. And I love that Raiders. I had to become part of the Raider Nation. As soon as he went to the Raiders, I was like, I'm a Raiders fan immediately. And so
does he have any Super Bowls?
Jerry Rice?
Yes.
I know you're so young, but yeah,
Nick.
The 49ers dominated. They were one of the great franchises of all time.
You think he's better than Randy Moss?
Better overall, yes, but Randy Moss is right there with Jerry Rice as my favorite receivers, and then Reggie.
Randy Moss he's tough.
Yeah,
he was
what Randy Moss he's just a freak. Like that shit was nuts.
He has his own thing. Whenever someone makes a catch over someone's back,
getting mossed, bro.
You get mossed.
Yeah,
you guys own
nobody's getting riced out here.
He was he's so tall and so skinny,
built.
But he was so fast. But like being able
to
take
the same thing with
take these stand ups and just.
That's kind of the same thing even with Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison. It's Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Reggie Wayne, and Marvin. Those are my top 4 in no specific order, to be honest. Like I love those guys. Like as a wide receiver myself, like their craft was amazing to me. Like, and they're all different in how they play the game. Jerry Rice was amazing to me because he was a perfectionist. And I love his story, hearing his story about when he was a kid. Like his dad was a bricklayer. So as a kid, like he would have to go with his dad, and they would have to unload these trucks of bricks. So they were constantly throwing these bricks, and he would have to catch them. So think about that as a kid, you're growing up, and you're constantly having to
tough hands.
Absolutely, and strong hands, and it makes me just want to throw bricks at my sons. Like I'm like, catch that shit. Just all day, just throwing bricks. Like, what are y'all building? Nothing. Receivers. That's what we're building.
Just one brick. That's all. Just go to the store and get one brick.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing. Randy Moss's story is crazy too, coming out of the hood.
Sure.
And,
I have Marshall.
yeah, and then going to because he was supposed to go to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He was recruited and signed at Notre Dame, and then he's not
I think it's
Notre
cool.
Dame
Again, going
material.
back to like these small schools with like all these good players, and like Marvin Harrison went to Syracuse. I mean, it's not like a huge like football school.
Yeah.
But
Marvin Harrison, I loved Marvin Harrison. I thought he was amazing. But I love Reggie Wayne because also seeing how what Reggie Wayne learned from Marvin Harrison. Like Marvin Harrison's ability to know when he was about to get hit and to be able to avoid those hits, like just catch the ball and fall down and just get under
what
people.
Zach
and stuff.
Pascal should have done today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, speaking of old players and wide receivers, Larry Fitzgerald, his time might be
Man,
up.
and
Oh my goodness.
And Larry Fitzgerald is right there
Why
with
did
those
I
guys
think
too.
about him,
man?
That
If I had to
dude,
pick a
watching him
current-
at Pitt in college, just
He almost went to
Man.
Iowa, dude.
did he? I
Yeah.
didn't know that. But I got to talk about Marvin Harrison again. Like, I think he's a stone cold murderer, bro.
You told
You
me
got-
about this,
Bro, that
and
shit
I
is
read up
nuts,
on it,
bro.
Yeah.
That shit
I
is
see it.
nuts, bro. And like when
Do you know-
I
do you know
first
what he did
you
Marvin Harrison?
Marvin
I zoned out for a
Harrison
second. What were we?
zoned
Oh my
out for a
God.
second.
Sorry, I got ADD.
Shit, what was you thinking about, bro? Where'd you
I
go?
don't know. It's just tricky.
He went to the out on the astral plane somewhere for a moment. No, Marvin Harrison was. That's what I found. It was fascinating to me when Marvin Harrison got released from the Colts. I was like, man, that's nuts. I was like, I can't believe they let him go. And then, but the thing that got me the most, I was like, nobody's picking him up, and his name is not going anywhere. And I was like, what is going on? So then I found out that he was involved in a shooting. And this guy came out and said that Marvin Harrison shot him. And like something to do, like the dude was there, like Marvin Harrison owned a car wash in Philadelphia. And the dude was around and something happened. They got into like some kind of an altercation. Oh, what it was, I think they were like downtown somewhere, and Marvin Harrison got into a fight with this guy and like stomped this dude out. So then this dude confronted Marvin Harrison at his car wash. And then the dude ends up saying he got shot by Marvin Harrison. And then the story that he told was that he was there, and then he was in his truck, and then like Marvin Harrison pulled out a gun and started shooting. And
Didn't he have
so
duels?
he drove off, but then he had duels just popping at this dude's truck, and he got shot in the hand. So then he goes out publicly and says, Marvin Harrison shot me. So then he's under investigation. So then all of a sudden, a little while later, because the dude goes on like ESPN, the E60 show,
Yeah.
and is telling this story about how Marvin Harrison shot him. And then a little while later, I don't know what the time frame in between these two shootings happens. All of a sudden, this dude is dead. He's found in his car, and somebody walked up and shot him. Now, the crazy thing about it is that they had a video of the suspected shooter, and it's a dude in a white hoodie. He's got his hood on. He's got on some jeans and a pair of J's, and he's walking. He's got his hands in the hood, and he's got his head down, and he's walking away from the crime scene, right? And I was like, as soon as I saw that video, I was like, that's Marvin Harrison. Because you can tell by the way he walks. It's like, I've watched this dude for so long.
Walk back to the
Walking back and forth off the field into the huddles and so on and so forth. Plus, the other thing is like, if you watched Marvin Harrison and if you watched the Colts a lot, he's that quiet dude. Like, he was never too excited. He was he was always just even. And I was like, yeah, bro. I was like, Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison is a cold-blooded
I didn't hear
murderer,
about
bro.
it either till he told me.
I don't want to say it too much because then he's still out there free somewhere. I love you, Marvin.
Dude, I love it though. Just wheeling duels, dude. That makes him more of my favorite.
Absolutely, man. So Marvin Harrison, I love Reggie Wayne. I think he's one of the more underrated receivers of all time. I watched a thing not too long ago. They were talking about like the top 10 wide receivers all time.
I think I saw that.
And Reggie
one of them
Wayne
was on it.
Yeah, and Reggie Wayne was number 10 in this list. And then some dude was on there. He was like, he shouldn't even be on the list. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, man.
I think
They put Marvin Harrison number 1. I watched that thing.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that
And
happens.
speaking about great duos, on the other side of the ball, they had Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis.
Yeah.
Another
Oh
great
my
duo.
god, dude, Dwight Freeney.
Yeah, I loved Dwight Freeney
They would
and Robert
collapse
Mathis.
the pocket. They were special.
That was a beautiful thing
Dwight
to watch.
Freeney's swim move?
It was
Yeah.
a swim move.
And
It's like uppercuts and then the spin move.
And then the spin, yeah. now see, watching them took me back to my childhood because my favorite team when I was a kid was the Chiefs. Like I mentioned, Christian Okoye.
I don't know the Chiefs.
Yeah, when I was younger, because I played
okay.
Tecmo. If Nintendo fans from back in the day, Tecmo football was the shit, and I started playing with the Chiefs because they had Christian Okoye, and he had like a 95 rating or something when he was like in excellent health, and like he was unstoppable. You just run people over. So I loved playing and just running the ball and just running through people in this game, right? So I became a Chiefs fan. Now, as a Chiefs fan, they had a dynamic duo on defensive ends, and it was Derek Thomas and Neil Smith. And Derek Thomas is one of my all-time favorite players, and unfortunately, he died. His career got cut short in a car accident traveling to the Super Bowl or something. But man, that dude was a beast, bro. I think he came out of Alabama, if I'm not mistaken.
Most likely.
I think I don't know if he still holds the record, but he had a record for the most sacks in a game. He had 7 sacks in one game. Shit was fucking nuts, bro.
Probably against the Colts.
No, I think it was the Seahawks actually.
No.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis, one of the great defensive duos. Yeah, beautiful. I love those guys, and I saw Robert Mathis I went to a preseason practice. They held like a free open to the public thing at Lucas Oil Stadium. Mm-hmm. And me and my buddy went, and we got as we walked in, like some dude approached us, and he was like, do you guys want to go down on the field for the practice? And we're like, fuck yeah. So like he gave us these passes to go, and we got to go stand on the sideline.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. I had the wrong shoes on because I had all kind of rubber shit all up in my shoes from walking around down there.
The rubber pellets.
Yeah.
I got to go on the sidelines for one of the Colts games, and then we went up to the
Yeah,
suites.
last year for school, on a business trip, we got a whole tour of the stadium. Their locker, I think Notre Dame probably has a better locker room than them. It's nothing special.
I would love to take a tour of Notre Dame.
I've taken a tour. I got to see everything except, of course, the locker room because they were doing renovations at the time.
Yeah, I saw Robert Mathis at that thing. That's when he tore his Achilles. So he wasn't practicing, but he was standing like right in front. I was like, why is this motherfucker so wide, bro? Like he's not as tall as I thought he would be, but that's a big motherfucker.
Because he's in that gym.
He actually coaches this guy that lives right over here. His son plays football, and Robert Mathis. He was one of
the Colts defensive coaches.
Yeah, probably.
I think he still is.
Yeah, I love Robert Mathis, but with Freeney and Mathis, the beautiful
Mathis
thing
was just an overall truck.
Yeah,
Freeney had his moves.
Just this beautiful skill set.
Yeah, but Robert Mathis was like, I'm gonna run you the fuck over.
But for both of them, it was all about the strip sack. Like,
yes,
man, that's a beautiful. I don't know how that's. I don't know why they were so good at it, man. It seems like it's something that could be like teachable. But
one of my favorite games of Robert Mathis was when when Peyton went to Denver in the first game. He came back to the Colts.
Yep.
It was like a Thursday night,
and they beat them. Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
That's the game where Pat McAfee decked that dude on the.
No, is it? Yes. Man, the weapon, baby.
We won that game, right?
Yeah, they did. The Colts won.
I know.
I'm not on the team. But yeah.
Dylan, shut up.
I hate when people say we when they're talking about sports.
Hey, man.
Teams. I hate it.
We are a part of the team.
We're trying to have a good time.
We are
here,
there
man,
in
and
spirit.
You're fucking it up.
You're just a kid. You don't know anything. Anyway, top quarterbacks.
Dan Marino.
Ooh, Dan Marino, interesting.
No, I don't think he's the best. But
no, I'm not. But a favorite of yours is fine. Marino was a beast. He was an Ace Ventura and everything.
Joe Montana.
Yeah, Joe Montana. That was one of the greatest days in sports for me because obviously when I was really young, watching Jerry Rice and Joe Montana, Steve Young, of course. But yeah, that was beautiful, and that's why I said like when Jerry Rice went to the Raiders, I became part of the Raider Nation. But the greatest day in sports for me when I was a kid was because I was a Chiefs fan, and then I remember riding to school one morning, and it came over the radio that the Chiefs had traded for and acquired Joe Montana, and I was like, yes, this is amazing! I can't believe it. Mm-hmm. It's like because like everybody has some player that they wish their team would acquire, and that was the one, and it happened. And I was just like, I can't believe it. This is amazing. It didn't really pan out, however.
Hate the man, love the man. You gotta put Tom Brady up there.
Man,
Absolutely. No question.
I know it's frustrating. Like
After seeing him play in Tampa Bay, yeah, I agree with Dylan.
Yeah, I'm not knocking his skill set by any means.
Everyone's saying it's a system quarterback. It's Bill Belichick. The dude still won, 6 championships? 5 championships?
Well, you see
but
that
they also cheated constantly. They're one of the most corrupt organizations of all time.
Yeah, cheated or not, they still beat the competition when they got to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
They got saved on a couple with that pick on when they should have ran it against the Seahawks.
Yeah,
that
dude,
was nuts.
that
was
pissed me
nuts.
off.
One of
furious.
the craziest things. I'm like. But I think that's what it's kind of a toss-up because it's like everybody knows that the ball is going to Marshawn Lynch, right?
Why?
And how I still am flabbergasted, bro.
You have this. He was probably. I don't even know what he was averaging yardage wise.
But
But
matter.
like,
He's a fucking.
I was gonna say
beast mode.
I was gonna
bro.
say you have one.
You
of
give him the ball every.
I was gonna say you have one of the top running backs of all time.
No. Marshawn Lynch?
He's one of the beastliest running backs of all time.
Yeah, he's one of
I'll
the-
give you that.
The bulkiest.
I didn't say he was the
run young-
best of all time.
I-
He's
what do you
one
say?
of the
But he-
best.
I said
he's
he's
not
one
even
of the
top. He's not even
top.
top 15.
Because there's so many
not.
phenomenal running backs,
I
but
don't know,
like
man.
Marshawn Lynch is a monster, bro. Because he has speed and agility and size. Like he's trucking people and running around people and stats. Who cares about his stats?
Well, I don't think
His
he had
stats
that
are-
many over 1,000 rushing season.
Oh, I don't know. I think you might be
COVID.
surprised.
I got my nose probed today.
But yeah,
guys.
that watching them win off of that shit pissed me the fuck off. But I do love watching Tom Brady lose Super Bowls. So I hope the Buccaneers go to the Super Bowl and they lose. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, those the Giants and the Patriots, those 2 Super Bowls were nuts.
I
Those
can't.
the
And one of them was
second one
here in
Indy.
Indy. Yeah, that
was,
shit was beautiful.
That was
bro.
crazy.
Speaking of the Super Bowl being, did you guys go down there?
Yeah.
Stop footsieing me under
Actually,
the
a
table,
cool
man.
thing, my mom got me out of school about 30 minutes early on a Friday one time. We went down there. I got my Larry Fitzgerald jersey signed. I got my
Larry
dad's.
Fitzgerald, baby.
Did I say
Lawrence Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald, my bad. I got a
Fitzgerald.
signed mini helmet from Matthew Stafford. I got LaShawn McCoy, Brandon Marshall, and then I got my dad's Jason Witten jersey signed. So
Man,
it
you got
was
the
a
you got the
successful
best
day.
mom, man.
Yeah.
Got you all those autographs.
You lucky son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
Well, we also went down with
My mom got me a Joe Montana Chiefs T-shirt. That's about the extent.
We love you, Lee.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Dad. Lee.
Then we went to B-Dubs afterwards. I didn't eat 30 wings like I did the other night.
God, you're
But
such a fat kid on the inside, bro. But yeah, Lawrence Fitzgerald. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, if I go back to that question, I think he's my favorite, like, to watch, like, in my time that I've been alive.
Well,
like,
we're speaking about Super Bowl losses that pissed me
Oh,
off
that's-
when Arizona
I was
lost that Super Bowl to the
Steelers.
Steelers in
Oh,
that last.
I was like 8. I actually cried.
Dude,
I
went
crying.
fucking
hate-
nuts when Lawrence Fitzgerald caught that pass and just took it up. He was just like, ah, and I was like, and it like scored, and I was like super hyped, and I was like, but there's too much time. It was like a minute and a half left.
Ben Roethlisberger
That
threading
pass.
the needle in the back of the end zone between
But-
2 dudes.
Didn't he throw it to
Antonio Brown.
No,
No,
wasn't it?
it was the Asian dude looking.
no, it was number 10. No, not
It wasn't.
Hines Ward. It was
Are you sure?
Holmes.
Yes, Antonio Holmes. Thank you. I'm still not convinced his feet were all the way in, but
yeah,
to
he
be able to
threaded the
pin,
needle.
man, the pass was perfect. His feet, that is a crazy.
remember-
Everything coming into perfection in that moment, dude. It pissed me off so
I remember
bad.
I was super young and I called my dad and I was like crying because because they were tied with the Cowboys for the most Super Bowls at the time. They were like,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
man,
Yeah.
I have one more.
Boo
and
to
it was
the
just
boo to the steel curtain.
yep.
And boo to Roethlisberger.
Hey, I'm just glad they lost some games this year. They were undefeated for
Yeah.
the longest time.
Yes.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I didn't mind it, but once they started losing, everyone was like, "Oh, I fucking hate them."
Well, the
Like,
thing is
it's
they
those
lost
TikTok
3 in a
shit.
row, didn't they?
I think it was 4. It might have been. I think they either lost 4 in a row. They lost 4 of their last 5. There might have been one win in between. I think weeks 4 and 5 or 3 and 5.
And
I forget. I think they lost 4 games.
I'll go back to Jarence Rice real quick too, since we're talking about Super Bowl losses. When the Raiders lost that Super Bowl, when Jerry Rice was there, that pissed me off. But he did get a touchdown in that game, so that kept him like he has like the most touchdown receptions in like Super Bowls or playoffs and stuff, which is amazing. But the year previous, they should have won the Super Bowl as well. But that was the year of the snow game and the Tom Brady fumble because it was against the Raiders, and
I don't know if I remember that.
that was that forward pass thing, and then they created that rule about the forward pass. So they said his arm was moving forward, so it was incomplete and not a fumble. And then Vinatieri, they cleared out that little patch of snow.
Yeah,
and Vinatieri
they
hit
got
that,
a video of him like
yeah,
wiping the snow out of the way.
Vinatieri hit that fucking last second field goal to win the game, to knock the Raiders out of the playoffs, and then Tom Brady goes on to win his first Super Bowl. Should have been the Raiders. Jarence Rice should have got another ring. And that started my hatred of Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Hey, at least
I'm like, fuck them,
Vinatieri came to the Colts. So.
Nah, fuck Vinatieri. He's a traitor, bro.
Nah, Vinatieri. He's
Vinatieri is a traitor, bro.
Hey, Vinatieri helped out my man Pat McAfee when he popped down 30 edibles.
He said 13.
He could have taken some
30.
of them for him.
I know,
30.
right?
That dude was on cloud.
45.
Pat McAfee never said that he actually did anything to help him. He just said that.
He said, "I got
was
you, little buddy."
I got you, little buddy. I got you, little buddy.
God, I would love to have been in that moment and just see Adam Vinatieri just, I got you, little buddy.
He probably didn't say that. It was probably Pat.
Pat
He probably
McAfee.
said
He's like,
something
I was
that.
so wasted, man. I don't even know what he was saying
Well,
to me. He's
I-
probably
I-
like, you're a fucking idiot, man.
The coolest
You're making us look
moment for
bad.
me working at the job I work at now was when Adam Vinatieri came in.
I wish I was there because I'd have
Dude.
been like, traitor!
Dude, he
Traitor!
he came
You're a
in,
fucking traitor!
he came in and he was just standing by the gas tanks and I was like, or the gas cans, and I was like, you need help? He goes, no, I'm just fucking around buying shit I don't need. And I was like, all right, man, see you later then.
And then I would have been
Yeah.
like, fuck you, traitor.
His old house.
I would have slapped a gas
I
can.
don't
out
think
his
he
hand,
lives
bro.
there anymore. But on my way to my dad's
No,
work,
he lives in Kentucky now.
yeah, on my way to my
Vinatieri does?
dad's work, he
Huh?
has.
Vinatieri?
Dude, he has a huge like this huge amount of like acreage.
In Kentucky?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he had
because
like
he rents it
'cause
out
he-
for
he
hunting.
a
he grows
motorcycle trail
Yeah,
or
he
something.
might.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Vinatieri's a huge hunter. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because the reason why I know is because he came into our store and bought a bathroom for one of his places down in there.
I will say this about Vinatieri. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'll give him his due.
He's the all-time leading scorer.
Oh, absolutely. He's a phenomenal kicker. I call him a traitor, and I hated that he came to the Colts because all that he did with the Patriots. But the thing that pissed me off about him is like once he came to the Colts, it's like I swear, like when the Colts would play the Patriots, that motherfucker would miss field goals, and I don't know how many, but it always happened against. He's knocking them out the park all season. Play the Patriots, he's gonna miss one. I'm like, fuck you, dude. You're a traitor. Fuck you, Vinatieri. Fuck you, Vinatieri. Have fun in the Hall of Fame.
I love you, Vinatieri.
No, you don't. No, he doesn't.
I do.
He doesn't. Love
I do.
He doesn't love you.
I do.
Did you?
Should have bought that gas can, man.
Did you try to touch him while he was in there?
a little piece of skin.
Full of Ben Roethlisberger.
Little piece of dry
Hey,
skin was
Roethlisberger's
left
a
on the floor
nutcase.
when he left, and I went and picked it up, and it's in a safe at my house.
I bet. I believe you. I believe you. It's like took the tile that he stepped on.
Yes. just my manager. What are you doing? Don't worry about it.
So if you could take any, would you be one of those people that would take a patch
No.
out of the ground like the turf from any stadium?
Nope.
Yeah, I thought that was always weird, but
Nope.
humans are weird about their memorabilia and such.
Speaking of 49ers, do you think Jimmy Hoffa's buried in the 49ers touchdown?
Interesting. Yeah, I have no idea. I did it. That's off subject, but if you've not seen The Irishman, you need to watch
Have you
that.
seen The Irishman?
I have not. I've wanted to watch it.
It's worth the watch.
It is.
I just started
It is
watching
really
it
good.
one day randomly. I was like, Robert De Niro's in
It's
it. I'll
long.
watch it.
I
It is
love
long.
it.
long ass fucking.
But I had
movie.
no idea it was about Jimmy Hoffa. That whole thing. It's quite phenomenal. I highly recommend. Watch The Irishman. Has nothing to do with sports, but good times.
Other than being buried
potentially. Yeah.
in the.
Who is the dude who was apparently or supposedly buried under the Giants? Did you guys ever hear about that?
Nope.
There's some big famous dude who's
Not sure.
apparently buried underneath the stadium.
No
I'm
idea.
not sure. I'm not sure
No
who it
idea.
is.
You're just
No idea
making
what you're
shit
talking
up
about.
now.
Yep. I'm trying to be
am
cool.
not.
I know you're just trying to fit in, bro.
Mm-mm.
Nobody knows what you're talking about.
What was your guys' favorite like sports memory growing up? Like, what game do you stick out to? Like, man, I love sports. Like, what was that
Butler
one game?
Duke championship game.
That was devastating.
That was the game
But-
that was
Absolutely phenomenal.
made me a forever Butler fan. Even
I
though
can
we
appreciate
lost,
that.
but
Yeah, I
That
can
game was
appreciate that.
nuts.
It
Almost
was.
went in.
well, the reason why is because Butler was the year prior was like when they started kind of getting better.
Yeah.
And my aunt watched one of their games, and I was like, she went to Butler and graduated from Butler. So I was like, okay, well, I'll start watching them. So then the next year's when they went to the championship, but like I watched them that whole year, and I was
It's
like,
just a ragtag team
That's-
And then the
that
next
just
year,
came together.
they went back
Credit to
back.
Brad Stevens. He's a beast,
oh
bro.
my dude, Brad Stevens
Sorry,
is
Dylan.
one of my all-time favorite coaches
What were you saying?
for basketball.
I think I was just making a comment.
Oh.
I don't remember.
That's an excellent question that you asked, by the way. I don't know. That was a good answer with the Butler stuff. Shit, I don't know. I can't really think of much, but I do.
What
do,
memory do you know the most?
I know these two right here squared off, and I remember watching all of this finals, Michael Jordan and the Rain Man. Watching that, I remember that like that was so impactful. Like just, I wanted Sean Kemp to beat the Bulls. I'm not gonna lie.
Sean Kemp's a badass.
I know he was supposed
See,
to.
I've never really dived deep into.
He's from
him.
Indiana, matter of fact, Elkhart.
I never dived deep into or dip like I never.
Dove deep.
Shut up. I'm not talking-
Delved.
whatever. I've never gone into depth about looking into him, so like I don't know too.
Yeah, I don't
Sean
know
Kemp?
a whole lot about him. And who's
Like, I've never seen it- I've never really seen him-
Gary Payton, baby.
I've never really
They
seen
also
him
had
play.
Detlef Shrimp, Sam Perkins, all kind of people. I don't remember who
Yeah.
I was on that championship team exactly, or when they went to the finals. But yeah, I loved Sean Kemp. He was supposed to go to Kentucky. He was signed on in Kentucky, and then he was there like on a visit or something. Somebody stole his chain, and then some shenanigans went on about it, and he was like, "Fuck it, I'm going to the NBA."
Yeah. I would have to say 2011 World Series Rangers versus Cardinals. Game 6. David Freese. They're down twice in the game.
Yeah.
Was it a walk off?
So there was
Yeah, that was.
they hit a game tying triple. 2 guys on, 2 outs. I think it was 2 strikes. 3-2 in the series. David Freese, which wasn't a big name at the time, hits a triple off the wall, scores both of them, and then later in the game, the same dude, David Freese, hits a walk-off home run, and then they end up winning it in 7 games, and that was like
Yeah, that was a beautiful series.
that's
I
like the
remember that.
one.
I did
my
like
one
that.
sports team that I can follow that has won a championship in my lifetime, and it was just really cool to watch.
Yeah. On that note, like when the Red Sox won their World Series, that was I wasn't a Red Sox fan. I appreciate him, but my boss at the time was a huge Red Sox fan. So
Yeah.
like I would go to like B-dubs and stuff and watch these games with him.
I bet
And-
you get into it.
Dude, it was a great experience. Like especially seeing somebody who is such a diehard fan of this team who hasn't won in forever, and this
Yeah.
curse and all this shenanigans.
I hated that team.
We got so wasted the night that they won. Like he bought so many drinks. Like we were already hammered by the time we left like B-dubs, and then we went to some other bar. And then we went to the fucking casino boat. I was in Evansville. We went to the casino boat and smashed, doing dumb shit. It was hilarious. It was a great experience.
I did not like that team. Both my parents.
What's up, Bedlums?
Both my parents are Yankees fans, so that sucked for them. And
Are
then
they really?
and then
I didn't
they
know
beat the Cardinals
Oh,
that
such a
year in
beautiful
the
thing.
in the World Series.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was bitter for the whole family.
Yeah, it was beautiful, is what it was. Yeah, man, I'm trying to think of something that besides I definitely specifically remember the Bulls and Sonics. I know there was some
I think
baseball.
the first time.
You know what? Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
The thing that I remember most as a kid was, and why I hate Duke, Leitner.
Ooh.
Oh,
I
J.J.
remember.
Redick, the classic. Grayson Allen, the classic white,
Yeah, fucking Grayson Allen.
classic
That
white
idiot.
basketball player. This dude's taking ball on.
is he even playing?
He's on Memphis right now. I think he's getting about 15, 20 a game.
Is he on the team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're saying that the other yesterday.
I didn't
even
I
know
can't.
he's still in the league,
I can't
bro.
stand him.
Yeah, Reddick is a turd.
No. I'm saying Allen.
Oh, Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen's in the league.
Yeah, he's on the.
I can't
Grizzlies.
stand him.
Boo to
Oh
Grayson
my
Allen.
god.
That dude, because like watching him like against.
He's
with
like
Louisville
the
and
kids
stuff,
that I went to.
fucking-
He's like the kid that I went to school with who was like a crybaby about every single
Oh man, he was the
thing.
worst. Like it's just the epitome of like entitled.
Yes.
And yeah, I hated it. But back to the Leitner thing, I remember very specific, like as a kid watching that game and being pissed off because I was born in Kentucky and grew up most of my childhood in Kentucky through middle school. Leitner hitting that shot was devastating because Kentucky is a big fucking deal. We talked about at the beginning here that Louisville and Kentucky rivalry is nuts. But even I lived in Louisville for quite a few years, and there's as many Kentucky fans in Louisville as there is Louisville fans, which is nuts. Same goes
for Kentucky. There's just as many. Well, maybe not as much, but I mean it's pretty evenly distributed throughout the state.
Kentucky?
Kentucky and Louisville fans all.
Oh yeah, probably. But as a kid watching that game, I just remember like Leitner hitting that fucking shot, and I was like, "Fuck you, dude! I hate Duke, and I've hated Duke ever since."
Yeah.
I don't think anybody really likes Duke besides.
Man, I know a couple people, and I'm like,
I've never met a Duke
Lehigh, baby.
Yeah. I would say another thing that like I remember was like the first year I watched like the March Madness. Like that's like my favorite time of year is sports.
Oh
like,
yeah, because
Tyler Hansbrough Michigan State game against North Carolina. That dude was a beast.
Hansborough was pure hustle, bro.
That dude was like
when he went to the Pacers.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was like the most dominant player I think since Carmelo. Was Hansborough was before Durant, right?
Yes.
So I would say since Carmelo and D Wade, I think he was the best player since them in like the college basketball.
I loved his emotion.
Yeah,
his face was always.
He was so in it, like
he was so focused. He
pure
was so
hustle,
deterred.
absolutely.
Because like he was so cool under pressure. It was like
it was nuts.
Unbelievable. Like, cause I remember like watching like the fourth quarter of like the games, and we need like 3 points or something, and he would just go up and get a 2 and get fouled.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah, he would go hard, getting elbowed in the face.
Yeah,
fucking just.
There were some college legends in basketball. On that topic.
So many, golly. Like you mentioned Carmelo. I loved watching him. And that year in those in that Kansas against Kirk Heinrich. Kirk Heinrich was on that Kansas team, and my high school quarterback was a huge Kansas fan. His dad was from Kansas, so like he was rooting, and I was just like, I remember like I loved watching Melo. He had that swing.
His fadeaway.
Yeah, nice.
Dude, he was something special.
My favorite was you're gonna probably roll your eyes, but my favorite was watching him on the Knicks.
I remember I was at a game when he was still on the Nuggets. I went to the Pacers game, and I think he dropped like 35 points with ease. Like there wasn't a single basket where it looked like he was trying.
Is he still playing?
Yeah, he's on the.
Is he on the Trailblazers?
Trailblazers. He's kind of like a starter at times, and like he was a 6-man last year. Now he's kind of like the 7-8 guy. He's still getting minutes.
Yeah, Melo. He's kind of had a interesting
NBA
career.
The fadeaway.
He still puts in the work. I see all the time on Instagram in the off season. Like it's him putting up shots like in a competitive like atmosphere. It's crazy.
Being at Syracuse and speaking of like Jim Boeheim, he's an amazing coach too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that 3-2 defense.
2-3, or maybe it is.
Yeah, the zone.
The zone. Called the zone.
But we were talking about.
He came up with that, right?
I think he popularized
he implemented it to perfection. I'll say that.
Yes, for sure.
But we were talking about the Leitner shot. Pitino was the coach of Kentucky at the time, and then he went to the league, and ultimately Louisville picked him up, and I was so excited because then. I wasn't even a Louisville fan at the time, but it made me pay attention to what Louisville's doing, and I fell in love with so many players at Louisville. Like watching over the many years, like Pitino was dope, man. I loved his pressure, the full court press, and how fast they played. And unfortunately, they lived and died by the 3. And Louisville, watching so many Louisville games, it taught me.